Hi, this is Tom, Junkie XL. We're here in my studio and I'm gonna talk you through Deadpool. And what's really unique about this character, it's funny, he's arrogant, he's extremely violent. And I played around with a couple of ideas what I really wanted to do, and then I thought, but wait a minute, I have all these beautiful synthesizers and drum computers on my attic. Let's grab them all out and see if I can cook something up that derives from the early 80s till the late 80s that might fit his character, and it really worked out. And I wanted to lead you through my madness a little bit, what I came up with. So if we go over here, we see a clone of the ARP 2600. It's a synthesizer that was built in the 70s, and there's a synthesizer and that's a sequencer. And it literally was the first thing that I did. I came up with a riff a bit like I Feel Love, Donna Summer, and I thought it was a great riff that I could use through the whole movie for Deadpool. So I jammed with this thing for a really long time and I recorded all in and I took snippets from it. So I actually set up, because this has no presets as many of the synths you will see in this clip. So you program it, and when you're done and you unplug the cables and you move the faders, the sound is gone. You can't save it. So I reproduce that sound again. So if I start the sequence, so this is the first sound that you hear in a movie when he jumps off the freeway, and that is the start of his theme. Anyway, very nice, aggressive sounding synth. The speakers built in. It's a great little box go-to thing that I use a lot. Behind me we see the piano that I built myself, the piano from hell. I didn't use it in the Deadpool score, but I used it in Mad Max and Batman vs Superman, and I also used it in 300 Rise of an Empire. I actually built it for that movie. And now that we move over here, this is actually a super modern synthesizer, very, very young, the Jupiter 80, but it has this really nice, lush sound to it, and I used it partly for his emotional theme. Very nice, lush sound. And now if we move over here, we get to two very special synthesizers that I really like a lot. This is the JD 800, produced around 88, 89. Also has that really nice lush sound. And now we get to the beast. This is the OB-XA, Oberheim. Was made somewhere in the 70s and was made famous with Van Halen Jump. And this particular model that we're looking at was used by Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. So it has a really nice history to it. This is one of the synths that I played Deadpool's theme on. Has that really thick, really massive sound. The other thing that I did when I mixed the score, if we go over here, we see these effects units. Some of these I bought actually in the late 80s when people wanted to get rid of them, but here we see the Rev 5 that came out early 80s, and this is the Korg DRV 3000, and here we see the Korg A1. These were reverbs that were used back in the day to create that really lush, nice, long reverb with a sizzling high end. So they were very welcome to mix the score of Deadpool. Now we go over here, and I'm going to sit behind my modern keyboard and computer setup for a second. You would ask, you're showing me all these really nice old synthesizers, so why are you now sitting down behind the new desk? Well, obviously I need this to finally compose a score, and everything is going to end up in here, all those beautiful old synthesizers. But here I have an example of a sound that was very important also for the score, and the sound derives from a box that's called the Synclavier, and it was made in the late 70s and developed in the early 80s. A very, very expensive synthesizer, so that's not why I have it. We're talking, you know, $1 million or something. And it came right off the belt factory with some really amazing presets, and a lot of these presets were used by famous producers back in the day. So if I play this sound, you immediately recognize it. Beat it, Michael Jackson. So they used that sound for that record, and I love this sound so much, and I always looked for the perfect opportunity to use it. Deadpool gave me that chance. So I played his theme on that sound. A great way to be able to use that sound. Now I can throw it away. I never want to use it again in the rest of my life because I found a purpose for it. So now we move over and we see a couple of synths here. This is the Jupiter 6, the smaller brother of the Jupiter 8, which I also have, but it's in repair right now, so unfortunately it couldn't be here. Also, this synthesizer is, you know, really great for really great patches. This is the Juno 6, also from that same time period. Great for bass lines with the same riff that I played on the ARP 2600. It has a thicker quality to it, a warmer quality to it. I also used it for strings. Same thing here, like no preset. So if you have a setting, if you do something else, you lose the sound that you had. There's no presets to store it. So I want to move over to another really interesting synth that I used for this one. This is the DX5, which was released in 1983. A very limited edition to see if FM synthesis was going to work in a synthesizer built by Yamaha. It turned out to be successful, and then they released a DX7 later that became a game changer and a very successful keyboard, and it was used a lot. This immediately brings us back to Miami Vice. It has that typical FM synthesis sound to it. And I recorded a bunch of riffs with this that I used for Deadpool. This is one of them. And immediately it gives that Miami Vice flavor to it. So if we now move over, we get to the Eurorack modular wall. At this point, nothing is really being patched. I used it a lot to create really nice synth sounds for Ajax. This is very modern electronica, and that's what I wanted to do with Ajax. So the sounds that I made for him are more modern, more glitchy, and you know what you can do with state-of-the-art modular synth in modern times. And over here we see, oh, I forgot something. The drum computers. They're drum computers. So these are drum computers that were released 1980 to 1985. The drum track sequential, the MXR drum computer, the Drumulator, this is a beautiful one, the Oberheim DX, and this one, the RX7 by Yamaha. So these were used to create all these funky drum rhythms for Deadpool with the typical hand claps, the typical snares, and it's great to work with these boxes. One of the things that I did is that I sampled my own drum kit, and then I had EPROMs made with those samples in it, and then those EPROMs I would stick into these drum computers, and I could play my drum samples on this drum computer and program rhythms with it, and got this really, really unique sound. The last thing I want to show today is this modular wall. Now, This is a different format than the one that we just saw. This is like 5 units, so it's based on what Moog designed in its format. And some companies that I use are synthesizer.com, Moon Modular, fantastic company. I use Synth, I use Cynthia, a couple of like homemade modules, Analog Craftsman. There's so many great companies, small companies that make these modules. Some are very much in honor of Bob Moog and they sound very traditional and very warm and thick, and other ones are super experimental, like the Cynthia oscillators, for instance, and you can do the most crazy stuff with it. And so I used a lot of patches in this to create sounds for the movie. The same goes as with the other modular synth and with some of the other synthesizers I showed. It's like as soon as you start taking the cables out, you lose your patch. That's it. There's nothing to be saved. You better record it while you're at it, because otherwise you lose it. So that brings us to the end of the tour. Thanks for being here, and I hope you like the film and I hope you like the music. See you soon.